everyone to Collect Jurassic, and I'm here with a massive Mattel Jurassic toy unboxing. Huge shout out to the Mattel Jurassic design team for sending along this Jurassic Park 30th anniversary Hammond collection, Brachiosaurus. That's right, this thing isn't even on shelves yet, but I have it on the review table, ready to check it out with y'all, unbox it. We'll do some comparisons. Obviously, that review. This figure looks amazing. I mean, look at this box. Look at this artwork on this box. It speaks for itself. I mean, it's a hefty box. Obviously, the Brachiosaurus has been done before by Mattel. We have that Legacy Collection version, which I love. So we'll definitely do some comparisons to that. But this Hammond Collection version promises to be an even more premium version in terms of detail, articulation, all that good stuff. So we'll definitely take a look at it. But yeah, let's take a look at this box. First and foremost, it's a very, very heavy box. It's very dense. And I actually think it's a little bit smaller than the Legacy Collection box, but definitely heavier too. You can see here on this side, we have the artwork from kind of recreating that scene from Jurassic Park. We got Hammond out there in front. It's eating trees. It's a real toy photo, not an illustration, not a render. It's an actual photo of the Brachiosaurus eating from the trees. We also have some measurements. It's 43 inches long, 27 inches high. Some of the poses it does. On the top here, you can see that famous scene, of course, that the toy is based off of. I'm trying to hold this up. It's a heavy box, though. On the side, you have some articulation, or sorry, some building instructions, which we'll definitely have to consult probably as we build this toy. And then what else do we got here? Oh, I love this. On this side, you have this nice close-up of the Brachiosaurus with the Jurassic Park logo, which I think is great. Because all the Hammond Collection boxes make an effort to sort of do that hero portraiture of the dinosaur with the logo from the movie. So you're still getting that even with this deluxe box. Of course, like some other Hammond Collection releases, we don't have a window here. It's going to be just a closed box, but kind of understandable knowing that you have to build this giant figure inside. And here on this side, this is my favorite part of the box. It's the vertical version where you're actually getting to see the whole figure like kind of standing up on its rear legs. Really, really cool. And you got, I don't know if you can see here, we got Alan and Ellie and Hammond in the foreground. So just a really cool shot. And that vertical sort of format of this box does remind me of what they did with the Legacy Collection version, which I do have that box here. Again, one of my favorite figures of all time, the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus. So this release is definitely emulating that a lot. In terms of packaging, you have that vertical box here too, but you can see just how much bigger the Legacy box is compared, and it's also much, much lighter. This is a hefty boy. So, and then of course on the other side, you have the horizontal landscape artwork. Let's see if I can fit these things completely in frame. Can I do it? Yeah, of course. I mean, I got my camera pulled way back so I can fit this toy on screen once we get out of the box. So you can see there just another comparison of just how much a little more condensed this other box is, but promises to be a little bit bigger than the Legacy Collection version, which of course we'll get that actual Legacy Collection figure out when the time comes. But for now, let's go ahead and pop this box open and take a look inside and start building this monstrosity now that we've taken a close look at the packaging itself. So I should be able to just hopefully pop open this one end and get pretty much everything out of one end of the box. Hopefully, we'll see. So we'll go ahead and just, looks like there's some cardboard back here. We're just gonna slide this thing out. It looks like there's just a whole bunch of, oh yeah, it's literally just a hollow box. And with all the pieces packed in this little carton here. So I'm gonna lift that up and show everybody this is what you get when you open the box. Is this little tray full of everything, and it's got a little door on it too. So you flip that open, we're gonna be able to get the, well, this is all zip tied in place. We have some neck and leg pieces. We have the main body, which I'm already seeing is just covered in additional paint detail, which is really cool. Have some, looks like a tail, more legs, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of goodies in this box. So it's already coming in more pieces than the the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus for sure. So we'll go ahead and start to get some of those out. Looks like we've got a leg here. You can see the paint on the nails, pretty impressive. All like the brushed paint on the figure too. Probably gonna try to do these close-ups now while it's unassembled because the figure's gonna be so big that it'll be hard to do that once it's fully built. We have another back leg, or maybe even a front leg. I'll definitely have to consult the instructions to do all this, but there is another leg. And then this looks like we have the tail here. Everything's individually bagged, so it was packed in there pretty tightly too, so you really don't have to worry about a lot of pieces rubbing against each other, which I appreciate. I, as you know, do not like paint rub. So you can see there's like a nice shaded color here on the back of this. So already seeing a lot more paint detail on this figure than the Legacy one. So then we have the main body here, which you can see again has lots of different paint detailing already. Have that dark color on the back, a lighter color brushed on the bottom, lots of flecking and stuff. And then each leg hole is labeled. You got A, you got B, and then probably C and D. So you can really figure out where these legs are going to go. I mean, for lack of a better term, they're making it pretty stupid proof, which is great. So no one's going to be building this thing, you know, sort of there. So I just literally just click the leg on where it says A. This is probably D. So we'll go ahead and put D on back here. So make sure we're doing this right. Well, okay, we got A on. We'll do this in order. Looks like these pieces over here, we got here. This is probably, I would think, C. So we can go ahead and put C on back, up front here. So the longer legs are going in the front. Looks like I'm going to need some wire cutters for this portion where they've got these other arms and legs kind of in this tray all tight together, which again is great for things not knocking around and getting paint rub on them and all that. So I definitely appreciate it. So we got a leg in here. We have the neck and head all as one piece, which I think I got out. So there's the neck. Kind of looks creepy, all wrapped up in plastic there, but I can feel it. It's squishy. What a beautiful, beautiful piece. Look at that thing. So can't wait to try this out. So obviously we know that's going to go at the base of the body. But let's go ahead and get the rest of these legs on. So it looks like we have leg B here. So leg B is going to go back here. Okay, I'm already kind of seeing how this thing's gonna pose and come together a little bit now already. Can get these legs posed. Looks like the neck joint can come up, and then we'll go ahead and get the final leg on. Let me just get these legs sort of posed the way you want them to go. This is D, but it looks like the foot is maybe turned backwards, so hopefully we can just flip that foot forward. Wow. This thing is hefty. So you can already see our Brachiosaurus starting to take shape. Hopefully we're getting that all in frame so far. Cool. And now we just have to put on the most important parts, right? The tail and the head. So the tail's got this little circular joint with a notch on one side. So that should basically, again, be pretty foolproof in terms of how it goes in. It looks like we're just going to, I say that and then it's not going to pop in. Looks like we're going to pop it in one way or the other. So let's go ahead and push again. There we go. Okay, so we got the tail. Wow, it's a long tail. It's a pretty long figure already. So, and then we have the head. So we'll go ahead and move that. And this is the final piece. Boom. There we go. Are we all? Yep. Okay, we're all on camera here. This is fantastic. And let me get organized here because Yeah, let's see. This thing is huge. I'm going to go ahead and just lower my camera ever so slightly and set us up here so we can get a closer look at this thing. All right. Whew. So you can see this thing barely fits at my wide angle lens on my table. It's a tight squeeze, but what a beautiful figure. I mean, look, you already can't see. I would definitely suspect of, how much of a dramatic improvement this is going to be over the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus. But having it in hand now, not even moving it yet, the paint detail is definitely there. I mean, it has all of these washed colors all through the body that I was showing you as I got the piece out thing by thing. But then it's got this really striking light undercolor that literally goes through the entire body, all the way up to the neck, to this beautiful head. And let's take a look at this head close up, because this thing is incredible. This is definitely more detailed than the Legacy Collection one. I love that, I guess that's a glass eye, and that actually looks like a really nice glass eye. It's not so sort of soulless like the T-Rex eye. It actually looks really, really nice. And looks like if I open up it's got a nice little ball joint on the top of the neck. And if I open these jaws, we'll see painted teeth, painted tongue. Let me see if I can turn him around. Here, we're going to go ahead and bring him over here. Let's take a look at the other side of his head. Get some more of that detail in here. So, yeah, I mean, look at that. It's got the little nostril on top. I mean, all details that we're going to be able to find on the Legacy Collection version, but just done a little bit, with a little more fidelity, a little bit more paint detail here. And I love the articulated ball joint on that neck. That's amazing. I mean, that right there lets you do a lot of cool things with the toy that you weren't able to do with that Legacy Collection version. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the articulation. You saw when I was putting it together, all the legs have the the shoulder joint that you would expect. It's just pivoting back and forth, but the sort of knee or elbow, if you will, it also rotates back and forth, but it also has that pivoting, so you can do a little bit more with that. And then the feet, again, have pivoting and rotating. So lots of cool stuff you can do with that. And you got the painted nails on every part, every leg of the Brachiosaur, if you will. So that right there is huge. Man, I wish I could get this thing fully in frame, but it is just too big. So you can do, running poses. So let's try to loosen up some of these legs. Am I doing that right? No, that's backwards. So you can kind of do running poses. I mean, and it's balanced. I mean, that's definitely balanced too. So that's pretty cool. And they're very solid joints too. It's not loose, which is good because it's such a massive figure that you would not want it to be anything but solid. I'm trying to think if I have this. I think I have this leg over here backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. Looks like you need that wrinkle on the knee there facing forward. So now he'll be able to do even more sort of natural poses. And the one pose that we have to do, which we'll of course do by the end of this video, is the iconic back leg pose, right? But let's go ahead and keep playing with the rest of this articulation before we get there. I'm just trying to make sure I have all of these other joints facing the right direction, but it looks like I do. It doesn't really say on the box this is the correct orientation for all these joints, but you kind of have to just take their word that out of the box the joints are hopefully in the right direction, right? But you can tell by the way they want to move if they're in the right direction. So I think we got them all feeling pretty good, and we'll stand them up even taller now with that still in frame, perfect. So going down to the tail, we have the tail that goes up and down, rotates. This part is on a ball joint, so it's got a full range of motion, and the very tip of the tail also rotates back and forth. So not even necessary that this level of articulation, but it lets you do, again, some really cool poses that you want to do. And the joints are big and chunky again and solid, which is great. Yeah, I'm definitely a believer already in this articulation. Let's talk about the neck articulation, because this is what I've been really curious to check out. If you touch this neck, it's definitely got a soft plastic to it. See, it's kind of almost hollow, but there's a very firm, some sort of structure in there that you can feel. Like it's squeezable, but it's not like, you know, empty, right? And then that neck is supposed to have, so it has some articulation in it, like, so you can see I'm kind of moving it around. It's almost like one of those, what do I want to call it? Like tripods that have those joints. It's very like, there's a couple different joints in there I can feel that let you move it around. I mean, I'm having kind of trouble getting it to stay in one spot though. It'll definitely move, but it doesn't seem like it wants to stay. I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of rotating off to the side there. So you can see it does have that added articulation that's letting you know, move it up and down. But you can see how that plastic starts to bunch up and look not quite as natural. I'm looking on the box and I'm seeing that they kind of have it almost turning all the way around. I'm wondering if I can get mine to do that pose where it's literally like turning all the way around, but they might have it. Yeah, see, mine's not doing that. It's let me show you what I mean. The box kind of has it, you know, again, like turning around more or less, but and even this little shot right here has it sort of looking to the right, but I don't know. Mine moves a little bit, but not that much. Or at least it doesn't want to stay. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm also working the joints to make them a little more flexible. So yeah, so he's kind of moving to the right now, but definitely not getting him to like turn around and stay that way. Like they have in the box, literally like this, but mine is, if I let go, it's just going to go back, which is, you know, probably preferable for me because I don't like all this loose skin. I kind of like it looking nice and smooth like this. But you can also do the neck articulation at the base too, which doesn't have any functionality with the soft skin. It's just interesting they added this because the plastic does definitely bunch up, and it doesn't even really hold the pose that well. So it's like, why even add it? It's cool, but it feels cool, I should say, but it doesn't necessarily look cool, nor does it necessarily function as something that stays. I mean, that's about as far as I can get it to go over right there. And it's still pretty smooth on mine, so I don't know. Have to keep playing with it. But we'll go ahead and put his neck up to the full height there. I love the neck articulation up at the head, of course. Let's go ahead and do some comparisons. But before we do that, I do want to see if I can get this guy up on his hind legs, like the movie. Because if I can do that, and granted, my table down here isn't the most stable thing in the world, but I think I'm still going to be able to do it because this thing is so expertly balanced that I don't think I'm going to have trouble with it. Just have to get the legs in the right position, really. So let's go ahead and get these legs pivoted down. And maybe we'll move this. Oh, the neck is moved up a little bit, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then we can, oh no, we got to move the neck down. There we go. And then move the tail up and the legs back. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this on camera, but it's doing that. Yeah, I'm getting it on camera. Its tail is not touching the ground. It's not dragging on the ground. It is definitely on its hind legs, balancing like that on its hind legs, which is so cool. Definitely a tall figure. Don't think I can fit it on my display shelf back there, posing up like this, but it's cool that it can do it. You can even take it a step further and move his head up and have him opening his jaw to eat a plant. So that's really cool. I mean, I can even like move the legs and it's keeping its balance. So really cool. And then just like the movie comes back down, right? Shakes the ground when it does. So that's pretty cool. Definitely love the articulation lets you do that. Because the Legacy Collection version, you could not do that. You could move the tail off the edge of the table and sort of get that effect, but not like this one. Here, I'm trying to get this guy back in sort of a neutral pose before we bring out some comparisons here. So there it is. I think we're all reset and back to normal. What a beautiful figure, though. I love this mouth too. It's such a coolly detailed figure. So, all right, there's Brachiosaurus in the flesh. let's go ahead and get the comparison to the Legacy Collection version out of the way. One of my favorite Brachiosaurus, and I'm already shocked to see that the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus is actually much taller. Like much taller. Everything else about it is basically the same proportions. It's just a taller figure. I can't even get this guy in the frame. So you can see, I guess I'm being a little dramatic. It's not much taller. It's about the same. And I bet if I even move this head up a little bit, they're basically the same size. Maybe from the angle we're looking at, it looks a little taller, but very similarly sized figures, actually, now that I'm looking at it. And even if I straightened out some of these leg joints a little bit, I'm guessing Hammond Collection would be even taller. So, but this guy, you can see, doesn't have near the saturated paint deco of the Hammond Collection version. It's got the same basic kind of high level hits with the darker color on the back, the lighter color on the body, and then the kind of gray throughout. But that's where it ends. I mean, this thing doesn't have painted nails. The head is way less detailed. It's literally just black. The mouth still's got teeth and everything, but no articulation up here. Obviously, no articulation in the hard neck. It does have the, this articulation that this one has, and the head rotates similar to what this one's head rotates. So it's got some of those basic articulations, but like the legs literally are just on a pivot with nothing. The tail is literally just going back and forth, and that's it. So just a lot less going on in terms of posability there. And then detail wise, I mean, aside from the paint, you can see this thing's got decent detail. It's got some wrinkling. It's got, some scales, but it doesn't even touch the Hammond Collection version. It's got much more sharp detail, much more sharp folds in the skin and things like that. So just right there with the detail and the paint, already an improvement. But then when you factor in the articulation, the Hammond Collection is going to be far and away the clear winner. So, and then of course, not just comparing massive dinosaurs, but some other dinosaurs as well. I have the Hammond Collection Parasaurolophus. Of course, you'd see that in the Isla Nublar Lagoon, in that scene in Jurassic Park where they're looking across the hill, and you can see just how small. And this is not a small figure. I mean, this is not like a tiny toy. You can see it in my hand, but put it next to the Brachiosaurus, and it might as well be miniature. But no, that's just because the Brachiosaurus is that big. So we also, of course, have Rexy. Another famous Isla Nublar resident, right? And also, again, not a small figure by any stretch of the imagination. Also not one that likes to stay posed. You can see his ankle joints are all loose. Not my favorite Rex figure, if you guys didn't know. I'm not a big fan of this one, but I know people out there all love it, so I try to shut my mouth. But anyway, going off on a tangent. There's the T-Rex next to the Brachiosaurus. Again, the Brachiosaurus absolutely dwarfs it. So, just these two medium to large size dinosaurs are much, much smaller than the Brachiosaurus, than this massive titan. So pretty cool. Nice little comparison right there. Then of course, what's Jurassic Park without, some humans? Of course, this Brachiosaurus lets you recreate that famous scene where the Jeep pulls up and everybody, stares in awe at it. So I got my Jeep 18 here. I got Alan Grant in all of his glory. I don't have his sunglasses with me right now that he can rip off when he sees it, but again, he's perfectly sized next to this thing, meaning that he is completely dwarfed by the size of this thing. And so is the Jeep too. It's the perfect size relation. They're proportionately smaller, as it should be. So really, really cool that you can just Mattel's made every single toy you can think of to recreate this scene, with the exception of some Jeep drivers, which I do have a nice custom Jeep driver. He's pretty cool. Jurassic Zach made that for me, and I love it. So I have it, but you basically have almost everything you need to do that scene amongst the Jeep and all the Hammond Collection characters, and Hammond too, which I don't have on me. But you know, the Brachiosaurus kind of like the crowning achievement. I don't think any of us ever expected them to do a Hammond collection Brachiosaurus, just because the Legacy Collection one is so perfect. But, you know, getting this thing in hand and, you know, kind of seeing that my concerns about detail, concerns about color, concerns about the face, you know, all that washed away when I got this thing fully built and looked at just how beautiful that paint is in person, how, you know, fully detailed that head is. It just looks incredible. And then, of course, my concerns about the bendable neck are kind of rendered mute because mine really doesn't pose. I mean, it poses a little bit, but not much. Not enough that I'd ever want to pose it like that. I mean, again, you can see that plastic bunching up a little weird in some places, but I'm not sure why you'd ever even want to pose it like this. So I'm curious to see if other people get this and theirs has a more articulated, I don't know, like it's willing to stay more, but mine is definitely not willing to stay more. So it is what it is. I guess I did kind of get it to do that pose on the box. After all, you just have to really rotate. The neck, and you can do it. So, but not what I'm going to do. I guess you can also rotate it down too. But again, not something that I want to do. That is cool though, that you can get it to look down. I didn't try that before, but I am going to straighten mine back out. I like the nice straight look. And I'm even going to make this guy really tall for this final shot here, because I mean, I kind of have his legs bent just so he stays on the table better. But if you really straighten out his legs, he's just a massively tall, majestic beast. The Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. Again, Mattel has just taken something and made it even better somehow so that we buy it again. So the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus is definitely that toy once more. This thing is just awesome and up for available for pre-order right now at Target. I think as of this week, you can grab this thing. I think it's like $85 or something, which is awesome. I mean, that's a pretty good deal for how much dinosaur toy you're getting. And again, hopefully that detail, craftsmanship, articulation, all came through really well on this thing. Just a beautiful toy. So job well done. And again, thank you, Mattel, for sending this for early review. Very thoughtful of you. I love getting stuff a little bit early to check out. So this one was a real treat. But I hope you enjoyed this review. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Lots of cool Jurassic content, especially this summer around that 30th anniversary. Stay tuned because I got way more where this came from. Really exciting stuff. But that's all I got. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.